Hey, SMT Nation, what is going on? It's your boy, the SMT. We've got the Root Metrics Half 1 2021 report. It is in, it's completed. This particular report is one I'm a big fan of. I really do like the way that they approach their methodology. They give you the market-based, the state-based, and then the national scientific methodology and network testing. Solid data, solid testing. Go to rootmetrics.com if you want to check it out for yourself. You can download or view the PDF and take a look at all the data and their conclusions. So we have the State of the Mobile Union 2021. As of June of this year, here's all your national, state, and metro data. All right, we'll get to some insights and some conclusions towards the end of the video. All right, so all this testing in 50 states, 125 of the nation's most populated markets. Overall testing, I think the 5G testing is actually coming later on, I think within the next few weeks. So overall score for the three carriers, Verizon with the win there, 96 rating, AT&T 95.6, and T-Mobile at 90.3. For call, it's set up the same way. Verizon 94.5, AT&T 93.2, and T-Mobile 85.5. Reliability, also set up the same way. Verizon 96.5, AT&T 95.9, and then T-Mobile 90.9. And same thing for the accessibility. Verizon at the top, 94.8, AT&T 93.6, and T-Mobile at 90.6. Where things start to change a little bit is in speed. AT&T with the national lead, 97.5, Verizon 95.7, and then T-Mobile at 93.6. Data experience, AT&T 97.6, Verizon 97.1, and then T-Mobile at 93.6. So that's kind of the breakdown there. In terms of texting, Verizon and AT&T tied for that title, and then T-Mobile trails them by about 5%. In terms of national speed average, AT&T took the cake with 41 megabits per second, Verizon at 34, and then T-Mobile at 30. The number of root score wins or shared wins, Verizon at 264, AT&T at 217, and T-Mobile coming in with 16. The metro wins, Verizon 738, AT&T 568, and then T-Mobile at 235. This is really, really good to hear, actually, and I'll explain why at the end of the video. In terms of specific carrier highlights, we'll start with Verizon, as they kind of, I guess, won the most in this particular testing. Verizon continues to dominate network reliability, accessibility, calling, and texting on a national scale. They also had the most state awards. They were the most impressive at the metro level as well. In terms of specific data, they had 0 testing metrics with speeds that were sub 10 megabits per second. So that would be no speed tests below 10 megabits. They had 7 such metrics of 10 to 20 megabits per second. I think they had, they had, 7 at 10 to 20. They had 28 tests of 20 to 30 megs, 47 tests at 30 to 40 megs, 30 tests at 47 to 50, and then 13 tests at 50 megabits or higher. Previously, they didn't have any 10 to 20 megabits. Their 20 to 30 megabit tests increased, their 30 to 40 increased, their 40 to 50 decreased, and their 50 and above decreased. So essentially, Verizon's top-end speeds are starting to slow and drop. Basically, their capacity is starting to wane. It's a little bit lower than it was in half 2 of 2020. New York City showed the highest speed for them, 63 megabits per second. Victor Valley, California, was their slowest market, 15.5 megabits. They were able to download a video in New York City, I think a 600 megabyte video in 1.3 minutes. And in Victor Valley, they downloaded that video in 5.2 minutes. So really bad. Their fastest market, Shreveport, Louisiana, 109 megabits per second. C-band is coming. That'll definitely be helping Verizon. Let's move over to AT&T. National and state improvements, more awards than ever, faster speeds, more reliable. They had 0 tests below 10 megabits. They had 3 tests between 10 and 20. That number decreased. They had 26 tests between 20 and 30. That number decreased. They had 34 tests between 30 and 40 megabits. That increased. They had 31 tests between 40 and 50. That increased. And then 31 tests at 50 megabits or higher. That also increased. So AT&T is getting much faster. In Kansas City, Missouri, average download speeds of 88 megabits per second, really fast. They downloaded that 600 megabyte video in under 1 minute, much better than Verizon. In McAllen, Texas, that is their slowest market, 18.2 megabits per second. That same video took 4.4 minutes to download. AT&T was fast in half 2 of 2020, and they are only getting faster. And C-band is coming. That is great news for AT&T. And the last one, T-Mobile, many markets got faster in comparison to half 2 of 2020, and they're winning more awards than ever. Lots of 5G availability, although not a big component of this testing. That report will be coming out soon. So now they've got 29 markets where they're able to score 40-plus megabit per second download speed averages, as opposed to 3 from the last testing half. Their call performance is improving, although it is something that is still lagging behind their competition. They had 4 tests sub 10 megabits per second, 19 tests between 10 and 20 megabits. That number decreased. 40 tests between 20 to 30 megabits. That number decreased. 30 to 40 megabit tests at 33 of them. That number increased. And 18 tests of 40 to 50 megabits. That number increased. And they had 11 50-plus megabit per second tests. They previously didn't have any in that category. So very nice job. You could see speeds are increasing for T-Mobile. Their fastest region, Hampton Roads, Virginia, with an average downlink speed of 81.3 megabits. The downloading of that 600 megabyte video was done in 1 minute. In Antelope Valley, California, that was their slowest market, 5.5 megabit per second average. That is terrible. That 600 megabyte video took 15 minutes to download there. Really, really bad. Interesting tidbit about Hampton Roads, Virginia. Almost 200 megabits per second frequently in their testing. So that really good, I guess, for T-Mobile there. Doing a nice job of upgrading, I'm sure. N41, a big piece of what they're doing there. Anyways, I want to give you guys a little bit of my takeaways here. Okay, so takeaway number 1. Verizon is still the national network for excellence, with AT&T really making this a fight and starting to close the gap with Verizon. The second thing here is Verizon is slowing down. Their speeds are not what they used to be. AT&T's speeds are picking up. T-Mobile is improving greatly in this area as well. The third thing is AT&T upgrades are happening, and it's making a huge impact. T-Mobile also. Verizon needs C-band. That's kind of where all that stands. The fourth thing, Verizon, still the calling, texting, and data reliability network. AT&T is approaching them in this excellence. And I think the fifth thing here, T-Mobile continues to make gains in pretty much every measurable. While they still struggle with calling, it did get better. Pretty much all the metrics, they got better. They obviously do still have areas they need to improve, but even Root Metrics has identified they are vastly improved, and they are continuing to improve every half over the last several halves. So I don't know if the calling is ever going to be as good as Verizon or AT&T's. That obviously they need to address their tower density to make those handoffs cleaner, and there's some other networking things they need to address. But with the 5G report coming out soon, I think we can expect like Verizon wireless ultra-wideband to show like the best speeds, and then T-Mobile obviously to show the most availability with low band and mid band and stuff like that. But I mean, I'm really encouraged by pretty much everything except one thing. I'm very excited about what AT&T is doing, and I'm very excited about what T-Mobile is doing. They're improving at the greatest scale. Verizon seems to be losing that dominance it once had. And I think it's time to finally bury the perception that when T-Mobile claims that Root Metrics is paid off by Verizon, that's just simply not the case, because we're starting to see Root Metrics giving T-Mobile wins in certain markets. See, T-Mobile wasn't winning any markets before because the network was just really awful and bad. Now that the networking is improving in a lot of places, they're starting to win or have shared wins in these markets. So I don't know how long T-Mobile is going to sit there and claim that Root Metrics is paid for by Verizon when they really can't anymore. AT&T is starting to win markets, a lot of them, and T-Mobile's starting to win markets, which they never did before. So This goes back to when the network was really bad under John Leisure, and he used to blame that poor networking on root metrics, saying, you know, they're just biased and paid by Verizon. Apparently not the case. So what are you going to say now, T-Mobile? So hi. Anyways, let me know what you guys think about it. Sorry for the long video. I wanted to cover all that. You guys can check out the report for yourself, get your takeaways from it. But let me know what you think of the root metrics report for half 1 2021. Love to hear what you have to say. Tell me about what you think of the data. Tell me what you think about your perceptions. What do you think of my takeaways? Go ahead and drop me a line in the comment section below. The voice of the people, the SMT Nation. Let your voice be heard. And let's go ahead and hashtag ATT if you think AT&T is on the up and up. Or hashtag T-Mobile if you think they are on the up and up. Clearly, those two are competing in a big way in networking. Verizon does not have the stranglehold on root metrics like they once had. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great rest of the day, and we'll see you on the next video. Peace. Thank you for taking this opportunity to watch the SMT YouTube channel. If you appreciated this video, give it a like and a share to all your favorite social media platforms. Thank you in advance for that. Also, check out some of the links in the description box. We have the SMT Patreon page. We also have the Twitter handle at sneedtech. And do check out the audio-only podcast available on all the major podcast platforms. And if you are new, have not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and activate the bell notification icon so you never miss an upload from the SMT. We'll catch you on the next video. Peace.